Monty Morris is already, yeah. That's probably going to make Barton a lot better than he was already pretty good. Let's see. Conley being out didn't really do anything for the.
All right, let me tweet out all the links and stuff.
For the Tasmanian Utahs. I wish I could have the TV on, but I can't. It'd be way too loud. Why is it priced?
Yo, I think there's a little bit of background noise on your.
It's
on your
literally
phone.
dead silent unless it's. I'm in a chair that creaks occasionally.
No, it sounds like It sounds like there's a. Do you remember the Xbox fan? It sounds like that, except very silent.
My laptop has a fan in it.
That might be it.
So
it's whatever. It's not a big deal. I don't care. Okay, get over it.
Yeah, you're the one that's sad. Who was it? Oh yeah, the Denver, the Nugs. I can't believe Harden last night. Like, just hit value. So what's that?
All right, that's tweeted.
Tweet God. What's up, fellas?
Alright, let me pull up a stream here.
Not too cold. What is that?
What?
What's that noise?
What noise?
Oh,
you sound like you're underwater.
no, that was I had Espen up.
Oh, ESPN.
Espen, yeah.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. We're gonna go ahead and get started here in a few more minutes. We're just gonna wait on a few more people here. What's going on, guys? Yeah, don't worry. We just heard the Bryant news as well. Rip Bryant chalk. I don't know if that's going to do too much to his chalk, but we're going to go ahead and dissect it here in just a second. All right. Yeah, there's enough people just jumped. Let's go ahead and get started. So TJ,
Hold on.
Okay, what?
Actually, go ahead. You can talk. Go ahead. I just want to finish doing this.
Okay. As we talked about earlier, TJ, we're going to be opening up a TikTok, guys. As you guys know, it's a new social media platform. It's just 60-second videos. What we're going to do is we're going to use that as another revenue, or sorry, not another revenue, another way to communicate to you guys our favorite play. So I'm going to get on there whenever there's late-breaking injury news, and throughout the day, I'm going to post a 60-second video. No, it's not like your typical TikTok, but if you guys are interested in that, I'm going to be, just recording myself talking over my favorite plays as each injury news does come out. If you guys are interested, again, the description, if you look in the description here, there's a link for that. So feel free to follow us on TikTok, brand new. We're going to go ahead and be more active on there as well. Also, we dropped a tip jar. There's a link below. Of course, if you guys do tip, completely no obligation whatsoever, but if you guys do, you guys get a shout out on the stream and your name will pop up. So feel free if you guys feel the need to give. With all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. TJ, I want to start talking about the chalk. It looks like Philly is going to be the most chalk as of right now, just the team-wise. So let's go ahead and start there. So as we know, Al Horford was ruled out, and we know Josh Richardson is out. What are your thoughts on Philly?
Just to allude to the TikTok thing real quick.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to watch me be miserable midday in my car when I go on my lunch breaks and break down some news for you guys, find us on TikTok. But yeah, so obviously we have Josh Richardson still out. We have Al Horford out. So I'm very interested in this game. Playing the Atlanta Hawks. Why is my... Playing the Hawks, 229 over under. I feel like it could go a little bit over that, to be honest with you. I like that Atlanta's at home in this game. And I really like Tobias Harris at 7K. I think he'll be a staple in my cash lineup tonight. 36 minutes, averages 1.13 fantasy points per minute with Josh Richardson and Al Horford off the court. Gets a 4.5% usage bump. Rates out very well on our sheet. I think he'll carry a decent amount of ownership tonight, so I'm definitely looking at Tobias Harris. Between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, I think I'm kind of leaning toward Ben Simmons just because he'll play 6 to 8, 9 more minutes than Embiid will. So that's definitely interesting. Embiid averages 1.54 fantasy points per minute. Simmons only 1.2, but I like the minutes that Simmons is going to get opposed to Embiid. If you can somehow roster all three in cash, like God bless you. I don't hate it, but I'm definitely going to be locking in Tobias Harris. My next play would be Ben Simmons, and my third play would be Joel Embiid.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And with the over-under at 117, they're obviously playing a very bad defensive unit here with Atlanta and with a bunch of injuries down low. So should see a lot of rebounding here, a lot of rebound opportunities with Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid, as we know that they have a huge size difference in this game. So yeah, like you said, Tobias Harris does rate the best on their sheet. I do like him at 7K. It's kind of funny, guys. They're showing him as at 23% owned right now, and I feel like if he was like 6.9 for his price tag, his ownership would be like way up there. It's just like right when people see that 7K price tag, they just get scared off of it. I'm not scared whatsoever. I think 5.6. A 5.6 value on a sheet is where he's going to be here. Ben Simmons, 5.6 as well, and Joel Embiid. I'm kind of just rolling with the Roto Grinders projections on him because we don't really know what his minutes are going to look like. They had him projected at 28, but now he's projected at 30. Again, these guys are going to be fairly chalky in cash games. So Harris, Simmons, and Embiid, if you can, like TJ said, get those guys in there. You're gonna take away a lot of ownership just with those guys. So I agree with you. But as far as
now, what do you have Harris at on our sheet?
5.6, averages 1 point. I have to go back. I think 1.18 or something like that.
I think you might have the minutes in there wrong because I got him at a 6.1.
6.1. I'll go ahead and recalculate here.
Maybe the usage, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Can you touch base while I recalculate on these lower tier guys? Or do any of these guys interest you? Because I know Thibault here at 27 minutes might be of interest, but do you mind going over those guys?
Yeah, Thibault will only hit his value if he makes it in steals and blocks. So no interest in Thibault tonight for cash. Fantastic defensive player. The kid's amazing. Milton, a GPP play, sure. I mean, I don't have interest in him in cash. Cork Maz, Mike Scott, I don't have any interest in them. I'm just looking at Embiid, Simmons, and Harris. Those are the only guys I'm interested in.
I have him at 1.13, 36 minutes. He comes out to 40.68 DK points, 5.8 now on their sheet. So I did get it wrong.
What was the usage?
Usage is at...
You had 4.5.
Yeah, you got a 4.5% usage. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so he's a very good option. So he's one of my favorite options on the entire slate.
Yeah.
Like I said, Philly is going to be in the pace-up spot here. I think that their ceilings are going to be very high. Again, not bad chalk whatsoever. So I do like Philly.
It is a good matchup for Thibault, Seth. It's just I mean at 4-4, it's just not something I'm interested in from a cash perspective. So I'd rather get Marquise Chris at 4-5. But we'll touch base on that in a little bit.
Yeah, so there really hasn't been too much injury news throughout the day today. The only other injury news here is with Conley getting ruled out for Utah. Do you want to talk about them real quick?
Yeah, I was just waiting on. Oh, actually, no, I already did that because I was thinking of Gary Harris. Yeah, so I think that makes Donovan Mitchell in play a little bit at 7,200. I really like Ingles at 4,900. Should see 30-plus minutes. Gets a little bit of a usage bump, 1.1. Only averages 0.91 fantasy points per minute. I like the matchup tonight against Denver. A little bit of a pace-up spot there for Utah. So I definitely am looking at Ingles at 4,900. I think he's cash viable. And I mean, Donovan Mitchell at 7,200. I think he's a good play. I'd rather have Tobias Harris at 7K. I don't play the same position, but I'd rather save the $200 and get Tobias But I definitely think Donovan Mitchell, he gets a little bit of a bump with Conley off the court, averages 1.15 fantasy points per minute. So yeah, I definitely have some interest in Mitch, but I definitely like Ingles more at 4,900. And then
good.
and I was Jordan Clarkson. I know people will be talking about him a lot. I like him as a GPP play, but not a cash option for me.
So this slate has barely. I was talking about this in Discord. There's no value plays tonight, and I think that if you're gonna look at a value play tonight, it's gonna be in this mid 4K range. I think Jordan Clarkson is a decent option here. 4.1K, 5.3. I think this is like the only person that I really like in this mid 4K range besides Marquise Chris for Golden State. But really, I mean, it's just it's hard to find value. So this is going to be a mid-tier kind of night. You're going to see a lot of builds. So in GPPs, if you guys want to take a stab at some of these really high price guys mixed in with a little bit of value, feel free. I think that's a good option, a good route for JPPs if you want to differentiate yourself amongst the field. But yeah, I completely agree with you here. Donovan Mitchell 5.8 is what he's showing here on the sheet. I also do like Joe Ingles, and then Jordan Clarkson is going to top it off there. He's showing at 20%, so I think Donovan Mitchell is cash viable if you can get him into your lineup, and also a GPP option for sure. So let's go ahead and jump to, because I think that covers pretty much the chalk teams anyway that came out with injuries. Let's go ahead. I want to talk about the Charlotte-Washington game because Charlotte is in a pace of spot, and I want to talk about if they're even worth it to play or not. And then I want to switch sides here to Washington. So let's go ahead and start there. For Charlotte, does anybody interest you in a pace-up spot? Because they are playing Washington. Obviously, a good team to target is Washington if you're looking for pace.
No.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I was expecting a lot of questions about these guys. Go ahead.
Devonta Graham, like a GPP play for sure. Zeller at 5K for GPPs, I don't mind, but no, nothing for cash.
Yeah, I think Devonta Graham's going to be my only viable option. I think Miles Bridges is not a bad option. Again, these mid 4K range guys, if you want to take a stab at Miles Bridges, I could get behind that. I think just because of a pace-up spot here, 28 minutes, not a bad play at 4.7. And then over here at Washington, I alluded to some of these plays on my video. I keep talking about Troy Brown, man. He got that price increase, 5.6. He's going to be showing low owned here, so more of a GPP option, but 5.6, I wouldn't let that scare you too much. He does bode well on our sheet. Again, 5.9 is what he's showing to for me. And then I also like Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is still underpriced here, 9.4K. Again, this is going to be a soft defense in Charlotte, so I don't mind Bradley Beal or Troy Brown. What do you think about those two?
I love Troy Brown again.
Yeah, I do too.
I have him at a 6.4, so something's going on with.
No, I don't do the usage.
Gotcha. Well, he gets a 2% usage bump. I have him at a 1.1.
Yeah, 1.1. Yep.
You have 32 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, because I don't do the usage. I just said that because that doesn't calculate into it. So I just do 1.1 times 32, and that's what I get.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, no, I really like Troy Brown again. I don't know if he'll make my cash build, but I'll definitely have some of him in GPPs. I'm definitely looking at him for cash. We'll see if I can fit him in there. The 5.6 is a little bit pricey, but at the 30 minutes, I think it's a pretty good spot for him. Like Matt alluded to, Bradley Beal, probably going to be more of a GPP play for me tonight. I definitely like him tonight. I like Bradley Beal whenever he plays. If you land on him in cash, definitely don't hate it. And now we have this Thomas Bryant news where he's not starting. Bonga's starting, so I feel like that's going to drop his minutes significantly. I mean, with him not starting, it kind of weans me off him a little bit, but like the matchup is just so it's a premium matchup against Charlotte. So that's the one thing, like if you get off of him, he still definitely should carry some ownership. So I'm definitely up in the air about whether or not I want to roster Bryant for cash now.
So Bryant just went down to 23 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
I mean, even in 23 minutes against Charlotte. But like, I don't know. The fact that he's not starting just kind of makes me want to get off him a little bit. Like maybe Washington wants to play small. They got Bonga starting at the 4 now. Mahimi starting at the 5. They had been running with Mahimi and Bryant at the 5 and the 4. So maybe they want to match Charlotte with Cody Zeller and then go. They're starting Zeller at the 5, Washington at the 4. Maybe they think Bonga's a better matchup. Maybe they think Brian can't stay with PJ Washington. I'm not sure. But if he's not starting, it kind of...
Okay, so this is actually very noteworthy real quick. I'm going to get to Atlanta in just a second. Damian Jones is starting at the center position, and then John Collins is going to slide to power forward. Okay, go ahead.
Kind of like when Collins is at the 5. But that's definitely a better matchup for him. John Collins going up against Mike Scott instead of getting bodied by Embiid. But yeah, I kind of think that this is going to take me off of Thomas Bryant. Just if the minutes aren't going to be there and he's coming off the bench, like, yeah, he's playing Charlotte. I get that. But I think this is going to make his ownership drop pretty significantly. So we'll have to wait and see if that gets affected at all. But yeah, the fact that he's not starting is good.
Yeah, they definitely didn't update his percentage ownership. I'm gonna be waiting for that to drop, and I'm gonna see what it's gonna drop to, see if he's even a viable play anymore. I don't think so at this point. I know he's in the prime matchup, but 5.2 might be a little too pricey. I think people are gonna switch their ownership to pay it maybe for somebody like Embiid tonight. But we'll definitely see.
I like that. Yeah, I like Embiid.
All right, so let's go ahead and switch over to Atlanta while I was just talking about Collins, because I mentioned on my video. What's up?
Let's do it.
I mentioned on my video that John Collins was a very good GPP option because he's showing at 12%. He averages 1.46 fantasy points per minute with all the injuries off the court. John Collins is a stud. It's going to be John Collins and Trae Young are going to be my two favorite options against Philly. They're going to have to score, and John Collins isn't showing that bad of a matchup, and especially at the power forward position. I do like John Collins as a GPP option. Of course, guys, if he's showing at 12% ownership, I wouldn't throw him in cash, but if he's one of your last spots, I wouldn't mind it. John Collins, there's going to be a ton of different options tonight at the center and power forward position, so he's going to be coming in at low owned. I do like 7.8 as a price tag. They're playing at home, so it should be fairly competitive enough for them to keep it close. And then Trae Young also averaging 1.57 fantasy points per minute, obviously coming off that sensational game playing for Kobe Bryant, 36 minutes, 9.9. I think he's also another good GPP option. I do like these Hawks, and again, I don't really like anybody else from the Hawks but those two. Maybe Herter, but John Collins and Trae Young I do like for GPP. TJ, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I kind of like Collins for cash too. I just think he's in now that he's not playing the 5 going up against Embiid, I think that gives him a better match. I think that helps John Collins, and I think it helps Embiid as well.
Sure.
So I like both their matchups now more than I did when they were matched up against each other. I definitely like John Collins tonight at 7-8. Like you alluded to, I don't know if he will make the cash bill, but I wouldn't hate it if he ends up in there, especially now that he's playing the 4. I like when he's playing the 5, like I stated, but going up against Embiid, that's obviously iffy. So it's nice that he's playing the 4 tonight. I definitely like Trae Young at 9.9 too. I think he's going to be a really good GPP play. I'll definitely be overweight on him tonight, and I don't mind Kevin Huerter if you land on him at 5.3, but I'd rather go down to Bogdanovich tonight. I'd rather have Ingles. But yeah, they're going to have to score and keep up. So besides Trae Young and Collins, who's going to do that for you? I would think it's going to be Kevin Huerter. So yeah, I definitely love John Collins. I really like Trae Young, and I'm okay with Huerter if you land on him. But like I said, I'd rather go to Sacramento Bogdanovich or Joe Ingles.
Yeah, just to put this into context, John Collins rivals fantasy point per minute he rivals a fantasy point per minute output similar to somebody like Jokic. Jokic averages 1.51 fantasy points per minute. So if you're talking about a 7.8 price tag, guys, it's not rocket science. 7.8 is just very underpriced for somebody like John Collins. I get the matchup. I get the low pace of Atlanta, but again, they're playing at home. It should be a fairly decent matchup. Again, if he slides into power forward, we do like him even more, and there's going to be so many different options at the power forward center position. So just want to reiterate that. Let's go ahead over to Golden State because I saw some hidden value here. And yes, guys, we will get to your questions. Feel free to enter them into the chat. I'm going to go ahead and just go through all of these plays before I get to the questions. That way we're not losing track of what we're talking about here and we're not getting confused about what we're talking about. It's a little bit smoother for transition over to the questions here. So I want to talk about Golden State, and actually I'm kind of disappointed as I pull up my page here. Marquise Chris's minutes actually went down. So let me update that. 24 from 26. I don't know.
It's not too significant. I just want to touch base real quick back on the Atlanta Philly before we switch gears. Somebody asked about Ben Simmons being sick. It's kind of like the thing with Harden last night. Like, if you're good enough to play, then I trust that you're healthy enough to be in the game and you're going to be a full go. So Harden last night with the thigh, it was pretty unclear if he was going to play or not. He ended up playing. He had a bad game. We can blame it on it's his thigh, right? We can blame it on his thigh, and that's why he didn't have a good game. But he played 38 minutes. So if Ben Simmons is going to play, whether he's sick or not, and he's playing 38 minutes and he's in a good spot, like, it's not going to take me off of him. If I know he's good enough, like, if he's not going to play, he's too sick. If he's playing, he's fine. That's the way I view it. So that's why I'm not necessarily getting scared off of Ben Simmons, just because there were rumors that he didn't feel good and he was potentially sitting out. If he's good enough to play, then that's good enough for me. So I just wanted to touch base on that.
I completely agree with you. I'm not going to let a sickness push me off of a player, especially if I really don't know what it is. If he's like, obviously if he's like throwing up or something, then I would be off of him, but we don't really know what it is. They don't describe the illness whatsoever. So again, I don't really look into that news. I'm also not a narrative guy, which bit us in the butt last night. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on the Golden State here. So Golden State, I have Marquise Chris at 24 minutes now, showing at a 5.7. I also have D'Lo at a 5.6, and Draymond. I want to touch base on Draymond too, because Draymond has been getting a lot of run at power forward, and he almost got a triple-double last game because of the rotation without Willie Cauley-Stein. He's going to have to play a lot more minutes down low here. He went off last game. Absolutely bananas. At a 5.9, I still like him. He got a little bit of a price increase, but again, Draymond Green's going to have to play a little bit of a bigger man role here than he normally plays. So I do like Draymond Green. I do like D'Lo, and I do like Chris. Let me reiterate that for GPPs. I don't think I like them for cash just because of the low over under, but these guys definitely can fly under the radar tonight for sure. TJ, what do you think about that?
If Marquise Chris does start, I definitely think he's cash viable at 4-5. I would expect him to play a little bit more than 24 minutes. I was hoping 26. Played 31 against Philly. So that'll be interesting to see. But even if he plays 24 minutes, I do still like him as a cash play at 4-5. I definitely like D'Lo at 8K. I think the spot isn't great. The Celtics defend very well. And they're kind of a mid-pace team. They actually rank 17, so this is a little bit of a pace-down spot for Golden State on the road. So that's something to take into consideration. But yeah, like Matt said, I definitely like D'Lo for GPPs. I don't mind Draymond for GPPs either. But I definitely think that Marquise Chris is cash viable tonight at 4-5. As long as he does get the 24 minutes, I don't mind rolling the dice with him.
Yeah, these minutes are weird for Golden State. It looks like they're going down for me. What was D'Lo at for you earlier in the day? Was he at 33 always?
He was at 34.
Yeah, that's okay. It went down. I'm not crazy. Yeah. Okay, so Damian Lee looks like he went up from 20 at 27 minutes. Did you know that?
I have Damian Lee at 27 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, it went up for me. So that's where the minutes went. Damian Lee. So he becomes a slightly better play, but not by much. Okay.
No, it's just I don't even really have too much interest in Draymond. I think it's just, for me, it's D'Lo, and then I do think I don't mind Chris as long as he gets a start, which I think he should. That would be my guess because he has been. I definitely think he's cash viable at 4-5.
Okay, so to reiterate here, we do like Chris in cash if he does start here at the center position,
which he should be.
Which he should. All right. Are we missing anybody else that we want to cover here? We're getting some Boston questions. I know. I'll say this about Boston.
Kemba's my favorite Celtic.
Okay. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, with Tatum on the minute restriction. I mean, he didn't have a good game last time, but he's taken 20 shots in the last 3 games. With Tatum being on the minute restriction, I think my second favorite Celtic right now would be Gordon Hayward. When Gordon Hayward's aggressive, he's so good. He's so good. He's been playing well the last couple games. He's been very aggressive. He's been shooting the ball well. He got to the line 10 times last game against Miami. Absolutely love seeing that out of Gordon Hayward, and he rebounds very well. So I definitely think Kemba's my favorite Celtic, and then I would go with Gordon Hayward as my second favorite Celtic.
Yeah, again, we always bring up the Celtics and how you just can't really pick. You can't really decide which one's going to be your favorite play. I think Kemba Walker would be my favorite. Again, if you're going to play any of these guys in GPPs, do not stack them. Pick one of these 4 stars. Marcus Smart, I think, is off the board. I think you can agree with that. 6.2. It's a little too pricey.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and catch up on some questions. I think we covered all the main plays here.
Denver.
You want to talk about Denver?
Yeah, I just.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because we have to calculate what happened without. Yeah, that's right. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do that with Harris. Do you have a better idea?
35, 34, 24. I mean, Monty Morris is going to get some of those minutes. Torrey Craig and then Beasley. Yeah, Malik Beasley's at 25 minutes. Let's see.
Millsap, Murray, Gary
What's
Harris.
Man, I wish Michael Porter would just let him off the chains, man. Kid's so good.
All right, so 1.38 for Jokic. So yeah, so John Collins actually averages more than Jokic, by the way, now with the injuries.
With the injuries?
Yeah.
John Collins he's a beast, man.
If this is your first time to the stream, guys, thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button. We do this every single night up through lock. We help create an edge for you guys. Again, we're the only streamers that go all the way up through lock 30 minutes before to get all the late breaking injury news and give you guys an edge on the slate. So thank you so much for your support, guys. We have been growing. I do appreciate it. We also put out daily videos. I do that in the morning, but then we go through later and we update all of our favorite plays through all of our social media, through Twitter, through Discord, and now TikTok. So we'll be doing that, guys. Yeah. We'll be doing that for you guys, and then of course the live stream. So we do appreciate your support, and we'll go through the questions. Feel free to go ahead and answer or ask any questions, and we'll go ahead and answer those a little bit later.
Off those questions, we'll get to them.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna leave you hanging.
This kind of makes me like Will Barton at 6K a lot more than I did prior. I definitely liked him, but now I really like him. So a little bump there for my guy Will Barton. Grant as well gets a little bit of a bump. Man, his price tag has come up a lot, ton.
Deservingly so, though.
Yeah, he's been great. So yeah, I definitely didn't hate Will Barton as a cash play before, and now with Gary Harris out, I mean, Barton hasn't been great as of late, but he gets a usage bump with Gary Harris out. Averages, so he gets a 2% usage bump. Averages 1.03 fantasy points per minute. I mean, this game should be competitive against Utah. So I definitely don't hate Will Barton at 6K in cash.
Yeah, no, Barton's actually a good play. I do like Barton tonight.
Yeah, definitely do not hate Will Barton at 6K in cash. Definitely do not hate him. He might end up.
We're also going to give you guys a recap of all of our favorite plays here at the end of the stream, so feel free to stay through the end, and we'll have all that ready for you guys if you guys are joining late. Yeah, Will Barton comes out to a 5.8 here. I do like Will Barton tonight. Malik Beasley, I was getting a little excited. I saw him at 3.5, but he's just not that productive of a player.
7,
unfortunately.
So
if you want to take a stab at him, by all means.
Yeah, him or Torrey Craig as a GPP play, why not? I'd rather go with Beasley to save the money, but not cash valuable. But man, Will Barton, definitely like him at 6K. I'm assuming his ownership goes up a little bit more too now with those injuries. So,
all right, yeah, I have Will Barton. I have Jeremy Grant being a decent play. Jokic, just whatever. Monty Morris, not as good as I would like him to be, at averaging 0.84 fantasy points per minute, and Malik Beasley being a little underwhelming here. All right, so now you want to get to questions, TJ?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to scroll up to the top here, guys. Bear with me. Again, ask any questions that you guys have. I'll go ahead and go past the questions we've already answered.
Yeah, hit me. Rapid fire. Let's go.
All right, so first question. How much run... What's up?
Never mind. Nothing. Keep going.
How much run does Willie get? He got, if you're talking about Willie Cauley-Stein, he got about 26 minutes when he played. Is that the only Willie that you're referring to? Kemba and Collins, or Kemba or Collins straight up. I can't tell you enough.
What did someone ask about?
Willie.
Are they talking about like Willie Hernan Gomez?
I I doubt it. Oh, but that actually might be a viable question.
For Charlotte? I
Yeah,
mean,
that might be 14 minutes now.
yeah, definitely a GPP play if you want to take a shot in the dark. But at 4-5, I wouldn't. Nothing for cash. Good matchup against Washington though, so I don't hate the idea, but I don't think the minutes are there.
Kemba or Collins straight up. I can't tell you enough how much I like Collins tonight for GPP. If you're going to go for cash, I think Kemba's going to be actually higher owned. So Kemba might be a viable cash option.
I'd say it's a toss-up for ownership, but I think Kemba carries more ownership, so I think he'd be a better cash play.
Mitchell or D'Lo? Great question. I think D'Lo is in the 8K range, whereas Mitchell's in the 7.2. I know you're probably a FanDuel because I've seen your FanDuel questions. Straight up D'Lo, but for the value, I do like Mitchell tonight.
Yeah, I'd go Mitchell in that situation. I like the salary save. But if FanDuel, yeah, I still like Mitchell straight up. I'm on the other side of that.
Thoughts on Clarkson now with no Conley? I mentioned that Clarkson's not a bad play. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to build some lineups here and give you guys a better
dude, build away. Let's go.
Here. Yeah, let me build those real quick because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing with my value tonight. So hold off on that question real quick.
I don't mind Jordan Clarkson at 4-1, and if you end on him as the last play in cash, like that's okay. He won't be anything significantly high owned, but 10 to 15%, I would assume. So I don't hate him at all, but I'm going to try and look elsewhere for cash. I'd rather have Marquise Chris. I'm seeing Kevin Porter pop up a little bit. I don't really have any interest in him. But it's just kind of one of those. It's another one of those days where value is tough to come by. So I think it's going to be one of those mid-tier kind of nights.
Yeah, I still have Marquise Chris here at the top. So I think Marquise Chris, Herter's actually showing up a little bit. Yeah, and Clarkson's coming at 25% in my. So if I had to recommend two value plays, I guess it would be Chris and Clarkson. I know they're not too much of value plays because they're not below 4K. But those are probably my favorite options, I'd say, so far. All right. I like Clarkson. That's not a question. Simmons is sick. We already answered that. Monte Morris with Harris out or no. I just mentioned that Monte Morris is a little underwhelming, averaging 0.84 fantasy points per minute. I mean, I don't hate him, but I'd probably look elsewhere if I was looking in that same range.
I'd rather get the money and go to Will Barton.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to pull up my lineups here so you guys have something to look at while I'm answering questions.
Ellie.
Oh, you hear that? I was actually really far away. Gobert and Cash. Gobert is always a frustrating player because he literally only rebounds and obviously scores, but he doesn't do anything else. Like it's very frustrating for him. I like really high usage guys, and he's just not a high usage guy. I don't mind Gobert, but I probably wouldn't start him in Cash.
He is a block god.
Yeah, blocks too. But I mean, he's always hovering around that 40-point mark, and he never smashes value, I feel like. But I mean, it's gonna be a weird spot against Jokic too. I don't know. Maybe GPP, but I don't like him in cash per se.
Jokic kind of likes to stretch the floor too a little bit, so I feel like that might pull Gobert a little bit more toward the 3-point line because Jokic can shoot. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm not crazy about him tonight, being Gobert, just because he does rely so heavily on rebounds, offensive putbacks, blocks. So although I think he's a fantastic player, I don't know. I kind of think they try and get him out of the paint, and Jokic, puts up some threes and tries to get Gobert out of his comfort zone and has him play him at the 3-point line. So I definitely don't like him tonight in cash, but GPP play for sure.
Yeah, it shows him me having him in 2 of my lineups out of my 20. No, I have 150, so 7% of my lineups. All right, so Kemba and Bryant or Collins and Herter for GPP. I'm going to go Collins and Herter for GPP because they're going to be lower owned. I think Bryant's kind of off my radar now a little bit more. I'm going to update my percentage ownership, but what do you think about that, TJ?
I'm going to go the opposite just so that one of us is right.
Okay.
No,
Collins and Herter.
No, I would go Kemba and Bryant in GPPs. I think Bryant's ownership might take a little bit of a hit now. So, if he comes off the bench and plays spectacular, Mahimi gets in foul trouble, something like that. That's definitely a better spot for Bryant. So,
I'm gonna update his percentage ownership because I feel like that's gonna give us a better idea here. Let me update my page. All right. Can you explain the difference between cash leagues and other leagues and how they affect your players? Okay, so real quick, Ben Simmons remains probable. Real quick, I posted this on my video. If you guys haven't seen it already, I have tutorial videos up, and that actually covers what the difference between cash and GPPs are and what it takes to be profitable in GPPs. I have both of those tutorial videos up. So if you haven't already, please go give those a look. But real quick, 50-50s are cash games where you cash in the top 50%, you get 90% back plus whatever you put in, and then double ups are where you cash in the top 43 point whatever percent and you double up your money. Okay, and then GPPs, you're rewarded for placing well in those contests, or the top 20 whatever percent. It's like it's 18 between 18 and 33% for GPPs, but you're rewarded for placing in, like, let's say the top 1% immensely. So let's say it's a $10,000 prize pool, you might be getting $500 for first place. So I've been playing a ton of GPPs lately and found plenty of success, and a lot of these top sharks, you'll see that they're playing a lot of GPPs as well. So that's the difference. Top 2 favorite power forwards for GPP. Good question. Let's talk about that. I like John Collins. I've already said that. And Tobias Harris, if you want to consider him a power forward, I like him as well. And Marquise Crisp, he's more cash. I'll give you one more here. Let's go Bellalicia. He's going to come in very low owned.
Who?
Bellalicia.
Okay.
Okay, why? What's up?
Alicia?
Bellalicia? Yeah, that's what I said. Bellalicia? Does it matter?
I'm just pulling your chain. I'm just kidding. No, I definitely love those. I think John Collins might be like our favorite GPP play. Another one that I'm looking at for GPPs is Miles Bridges. I think he's a decent GPP play tonight. Yeah, not too much love at this power forward position.
What's Troy Brown? He's shooting guard, right? No, he's power forward. Yeah, so Troy Brown's another power forward. Weird.
Oh yeah, he does play the 4. Yeah, you're right.
Let's see here. You guys are the best. Appreciate the support. Really do, guys. Damian Jones. Yeah, let me go ahead over there real quick, because how many minutes is Damian Jones getting now? 21 minutes. Let's see if that's updated. It's showing him at 21.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Damian Jones. Let me look at Damian Jones real quick. Let's see what he's looking like. There's a ton of injuries out for Atlanta.
He's not. He'll be in there to try and just man and beat down low. He's not interesting. Even with Len out and Fernando. What else? What else do we have for questions? Tony Bradley for 28 DK points tonight. I like that. That's ambitious. Ingles or Barton? I like Barton. I'm assuming that's a FanDuel. Yeah, you said FanDuel. That is tough because they're probably the same price. They're really both good plays. I'd go Barton. But I also like Ingles, so I mean, I guess I'm no help in that. And for that question, O'Neal over Clarkson. I would go Clarkson over O'Neal. Harrell or Lou Will, says Grant. Harrell or Lou Will, says Grant. I go Trez.
Are you really far down on the questions?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll get the top ones in.
I'd go Trez, Grant. I think it's a better matchup going up against Sacramento without 2 of their bigs, obviously. So, especially him coming off the bench. He'll be going up against Harry Giles, so I like that matchup for Trez.
All right, Barton or Brown? Good question. Barton for cash. I like him for GPPs as well. I also like Brown. So if you could get both of them in the GPP lineup, that would be awesome. But I'd say Barton. I think Barton is slightly better, but not by much at all. All right, Willie Herman Gomez. You already got all the questions down low. I think we're caught up.
They were talking about Willie Herman Gomez? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Smith viable for GPP? For sure, yeah. Yep. Good spot for Ish Smith.
Are you guys planning on doing any stream for the Super Bowl?
I'm not.
I might. I
If you
might.
want to, by all means. I have my father's birthday is Saturday, so I will be driving home on Sunday, um, early. So actually, you know what? Well, I am supposed to be going somewhere too for it. If you do stream, I definitely might join you, but
Yeah, it would be a quick stream because obviously it's just one game. But I might. I have an unconventional way at looking at these showdown contests. And I know TJ knows about it and he's in support of it. So I might bring that to a stream. The same way I look at showdowns is the same way I look at contests for like MLB and NFL, just slates in general. So I can definitely do that for you guys. If you guys want me to do that, I can definitely do it. If I get enough love, I'll go ahead and live stream. I'll make that the final answer for me. I think I should be available to do that though this weekend. You already answered Ingles or Barton, right?
yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's really tough. I'd go Barton. But I do like Ingles, so I like them both. We
Yeah.
alluded to that. So yeah, I'd go Barton.
The only guy out for Utah is Mike Conley, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it did help Ingles a lot because I don't have him that well on their sheet. 0.9 fantasy points per minute. Is that right?
0.91. Yep. But he's 4,900 playing 30 plus
Yeah,
minutes.
no. I still like him. I thought you had him a lot higher.
I am at 5.82,
Okay.
and I have Barton at 5.92.
Yeah, all
So-
yours are a little inflated, so that's mine are a little down, but that's fine. It's all the same. Okay. It's all relative. All right, guys. Also, yeah, if you want to fire away any of your lineups, feel free because GPP and cash lineups do look a little different. Is there any other teams that we want to cover? We haven't covered the Clippers or Toronto.
Raymond, I'd go Herder out of those three for cash, for GPP. I mean, for DK.
You want to talk about any one of these other teams here? Anyone intrigue you? I know Toronto has a over/under here at 115.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some GPP plays like Siakam and Lowry. They always rate out pretty well on our sheet, but nobody that's going to carry any crazy ownership for us. Ibaka's starting for Gasol, so I guess I wouldn't mind taking a stab at him. Averages 1.15 fantasy points per minute, but no one for cash. Like I said, Siakam and Lowry for GPPs would be my go-to from that game. Should carry some pretty low ownership. But no, I want to touch base on some cash plays that I really like for tonight.
Sure.
If I can get this to minimize. So I think the staple in my lineup, regardless of minutes, because I'm assuming he plays at least 24, is Marquise Chris. Whether you put him at forward or center is entirely up to you. But I definitely think Marquise Chris is somebody that I will be cementing into my cash lineups because we have to find value somewhere. I think he's the best value play on the slate. I think he'll probably be one of the higher owned guys on the slate. Pretty good matchup against the Celtics. Only Tice, no Cantor. So I definitely like Marquise Chris tonight at 4,500. Thomas Bryant obviously takes a hit now that he's not starting. Is he cash viable still? Yeah. The minutes are scary. If he only plays 20, like last night, we got screwed with Lyles. Like he was projected at 20. He had a run in the first quarter of 6 minutes.
22 minutes now.
Who was that?
Bryant.
Yeah, so I figured he'd play like 20 to 22 coming off the bench. I kind of think Washington might play small. I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Which helps out Brown even more, by the way.
Yeah. So Lyles, like last night with Lyles, the projection minutes can be such trash. Like it's all matchup dependent. Like Matt and I were talking about last night. Like Bellinelli got a huge run off the bench, played like 25 minutes, and those would have been Lyles' minutes. So that was pretty frustrating. So if Thomas Bryant is only projected at 22, I'm probably going to stay away from him in cash. Like if you land on him, fine, because it is a good matchup against Charlotte, but not something that I want to try and have in my lineup. So I definitely like Marquise Chris the best. Kevin Huerter at 5.3. I think he's cash viable. I think he'll carry some ownership. It's a good matchup. It's a pace-up spot for Philly going to Atlanta. I like that Atlanta's at home. I think they have a way better chance to keep it close, especially with Al Horford and Richardson out. I'm definitely going to do my best to get Embiid in my lineups tonight. I think I flip-flops now. I kind of think I'd rather have Embiid over Simmons, but I think they're both really, really good plays. It's a good spot for both of them. Matt, I don't know if you agree on me on that or not, but
I mean, it's a toss-up. I'd probably say Simmons
yeah,
just because of minutes, but
yeah.
that's it.
So obviously Tobias Harris is my favorite of those three at 7K. But I definitely think Embiid and Simmons are both going to carry ownership, and it is a toss-up. And I know I said I like the minutes more, but now I kind of do like the matchup a little bit more for Embiid. It is tough because they're so similar. They're priced so similarly. Can't say that word. Clearly, I can't say that word. Someone want to tell me in the chat how to pronounce that word? They're priced so close to each other. I'll use close. So it is a toss-up. But I definitely am cementing in Marquise Chris, Tobias Harris. I really like Sacramento Bogdanovich. I also like Ingles. I think those are cash plays because we're going to need some of those guys in the 4K range. And yeah, so right now for me, Tobias Harris and Marquise Chris are my locks. I like Embiid. I like Simmons. I also like Kemba Walker. I don't mind Kevin Huerter at 5'3". If you can go get Bradley Beal at 9'4", I don't hate him either. I like Sacramento Bogdanovich. I like Joe Ingles. I think all those are cash. And then Will Barton. I really like Will Barton too. So those are my pool of cash guys that I'm going to have to try and assemble a lineup with. It's going to be tough to do because there aren't any value plays tonight. So it's kind of where my head's at.
All right. So TJ is the cash guy, as you guys know. I'm the aggressive GPP player, right? I'll either win you a lot of money or nothing at all. So hopefully a lot of money, right? So the other night with the Bucks, I said, please do not fade these guys whatsoever. You can have up to $5 in your contests, and literally, you guys all listened. It seemed like most of you did. Almost all GPP takedowns. And last night, I said a lot of Spurs in your lineup. We just got the pay up options wrong. But again, guys, we're not gonna sit here and throw opinions at you. We're gonna put stats in your face, and we're gonna say, hey, this is what his projection is. This is what his fantasy points per minute are. This is what the ownership is. These are the good plays. Okay, we're not gonna sit here and throw opinions at you. We're not those guys. Okay, so with all that being said, GPP plays. I'm gonna roll down the list here. I'm gonna be overweight on people like Troy Brown. Troy Brown's gonna be a very good GPP option. John Collins is another good GPP option. I'm gonna be overweight on Will Barton. Tobias Harris, I'm going to be a little bit overweight on. I still think Tobias Harris, if he is showing up at 22%, I'm going to have more exposure to him.
I refuse to believe he's 22%.
It's still saying that, so I'm going to believe it. And I've updated, I've been updating on the stream. My the chat sees it. So Jeremy Grant is coming in at 4.32%. I think he's a fantastic GPP option if that's the case. I think Jeremy Grant, with that very thin rotation, could easily hit value. He's been playing very well, averaging about a fantasy point per minute. Obviously playing 35 minutes, so I think he's a valid option as well. As we know, the Utah's coming off that back-to-back. Jeremy Grant, a good option as well. Donovan Mitchell, another good GPP option. Trae Young. I'll go ahead and stop there. I think those are my favorite GPP options on the entire slate.
Yeah, I like Trae Young.
Yeah, I do like Collins and Trae Young. Like I said, I alluded to that earlier. I do like these Atlanta Hawks, these superstars, and Collins and Trae Young. I think Trae Young plays very, very well at home against Philly tonight. He should. All right. Oh, yeah, and Draymond. I forgot about Draymond. Draymond's going to be another low-owned guy. So again, guys, fire away any of your questions that you guys have. If this is your first time to the stream, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell to be first to these live streams. We want you guys asking all the questions. Last night was a record for show out. We had 86 people, I think, show up to one time. So we were impressed. It was a one-man wrecking crew. I wish I had TJ with me. I would have been able to catch up to all the questions. I know I missed a few of you. I do apologize. But again, guys, we are growing, and we do appreciate all the support. So again, guys, thank you so much for all the support. All right. We have a couple lineups to get to here, TJ. I know I missed a couple. Do you want to
trying to look at them now.
Okay.
Someone at Ankur asked, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. He asked Bielisa or Grant. I like Grant. Terrence Davis, Beal, Harris, Jeremy Grant, Siakam, Monk, PJ, Chris. That is a fantastic GPP lineup. I hope that's GPP, Ashley.
Thought on this GPP core build for FanDuel. Again, guys, I hesitate on answering FanDuel questions. I really don't want to steer you in any kind of direction for FanDuel. Yeah. I'm going to base it off DraftKings here. Young, Smith, if you're talking about Ish Smith, Clarkson, Mitchell, Tobias Harris, Brown, Collins, B. Alicia, Embiid.
Our
Yeah.
are terrible.
No, I like that. I like that lineup. I do for DraftKings. I will say that. Herter, Monte Morris, or Alec Burks for cash. For cash. I think Herter's coming in at the highest owned. I like Monte Morris as well. I don't like Alec Burks tonight for cash. Just because of ownership. Tristan Thompson or Larry Nance for tournaments. Tristan Thompson just because he's playing more minutes. I usually go with the minutes. It determines
Ronnie,
upside.
I don't think Beal is necessarily a GPP play. I just like the matchup a little bit more for Embiid. Obviously, they're priced. Oh God, I gotta say that word again. They're priced the same. They're priced very relatively close. They're priced similarly. That was a joke.
Yo, I'm gonna clip this and put this on Twitter. How about that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna put my hat on forward now because I'm embarrassed. They're definitely priced very close to one another, but I just like Embiid a little bit more.
All right, Draymond or Troy Brown? Did I answer that question? I feel like I answered that question, or somebody else asked that.
Somebody asked that 5'9", and it's a last spot for cash, and it's Draymond or Troy Brown. I like Troy Brown.
Yeah, I like Troy Brown barely more.
I just like Troy Brown more tonight.
Yeah, I think that if we had to name one player we've started the most this season, it's probably Troy Brown or Bradley Beal. I think those guys are literally in all of our lineups ever. He's just very productive. Troy Brown is.
Similar. I did it! Let's go!
Nice.
So no, you spelled it out. Oh man, I'm a beast. I'm back, guys. Similar. I can say it. No, it's not. No, it's because I was saying Beal and Embiid are. It's not similar priced. It would be
similarly.
Similar.
Come on, TJ.
See, that's the word. Similarly.
Oh,
Similarly.
boy.
Oh, I'm back.
There you go. You're back and ready to roll.
I'm good.
I think it's time to get off now. After that, that's all right. No, we have about 5 more minutes. That we'll go ahead and answer some more questions, guys. Just kidding.
I replace Brian with Ingles? I still so I can't figure out what they're trying to do with Brian, if they're trying to play small or not. So the fact that he's not starting is scary. I still think he carries a good amount of ownership tonight in cash. I personally like Ingles more, but I wouldn't hate it if you went with Bryant. So, like right now, my lineup, I have the option as my last spot to have Thomas Bryant or Ingles. I'm going to go Ingles. So, if you want that to dictate whether or not you go Ingles or Bryant, that's what I'm doing currently. Because that is my last spot, and it's, do I want to take the chance on Thomas Bryant, who still will carry a significant amount of ownership regardless of him coming off the bench in a very good matchup against Charlotte, or do I want to go with the minutes in Ingles that I know are secure in a pretty good spot against Denver and a pace-up spot as well? I'm going to take my chance with the minutes in Ingles, especially with Conley out and the boost that he gets. That's just my preference, and I hope I'm right because I'm leaving a little bit of money on the table. So
we're getting a bunch of questions about this Troy Brown Draymond comparison with Bryant and Herter. They're all in the same price range. I will say this: I'm going to be off of Bryant just because of the minutes. You know, I don't like minutes. I hate when the minutes are low. For 22 at 5K, I mean, yes, he could hit it, but again, like his ceiling's limited with 22 minutes. I will say that about it. That's the only thing I don't like about who am I talking about? Bryant. Bryant, yeah, he's in a good matchup. I was about to say Brown. No, Bryant's in a good matchup though. So I mean, I get it. I get why he's a good play, but 22 minutes is just scary. So I like Troy Brown, I like Herter, and I like Draymond a lot tonight. Well, I like Troy Brown and Draymond the most. I like Herter, and Bryant is just like an average play for me. So
yes,
I'll say that. Kemba, Ingles, Bogdan, Kings. I'm glad you specified that because whenever I see that name pop up, I just get confused. Bogdan, Tobias, Embiid, Barton, Chris, Troy Brown. Boom. You're winning all the money tonight. I like that lineup. I'm telling you, Sano, if you guys know, Sano is always coming up with fire lineups. He listens to our advice and just runs with it. Sano had a pretty big takedown too, not too long ago. So again, congratulations to you guys. Again, I really do appreciate the support. If you guys have any takedown lineups, please send them to me at the end of the night. I love waking up to all those lineups with all those with all the money won, right? So I wake up and I do my video too. So if you guys want to be on the video too, if you guys aren't afraid to see your cash lineup on the video, feel free. We're starting to get a lot of viewership. So again, I appreciate the shout out, and I appreciate you guys sending me the lineups. It just obviously makes us feel good, and it just keeps us going. Any more questions? We have about 3 minutes, guys. We'll go ahead and get off here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and update all of my stuff one more time. I'll go ahead and run my builds to see if percentage ownership changed, and I'm going to start building lineups after I get off screen.
Ben Simmons. What are you going to do tonight?
You never know. 8.9. I mean, that's a good price tag for him with these injuries.
So cheap.
It's also just a high-paced game.
It's so cheap. It's so cheap.
Do you feel you need Rozier or Graham for GPP? Is having none fine? Absolutely. You can fade those guys.
I don't know why people like Terry Rozier. People understand that Terry Rozier.
Here we go.
Right?
He's a Celtics fan, so he also hates him.
He's not good.
Yeah. No, he's not that good. He's not, according to stats.
Well against the Knicks, fine, but like he's so sporadic. Like he has so much potential. Like when he was with the Celtics, I was like, man, this guy's great. And then it's like every other night, it's a different person. He's not the same person that goes on the court night in and night out. He didn't even score against Orlando. Like it's just.
Yeah. No, I get it. What was the average? 0.98 fantasy points per minute? I think it's what it is.
I like Michael Porter as a GPP play.
Oh, yeah. I also didn't touch base on Kevin Love. Kevin Love's not a bad play. 7.2. I'll say that real quick. His price decrease makes him intriguing.
See, I'm in the spot right now where it's just my builds right now, or my build for cash is like it's the grouping of Kevin Huerter, Ingles, Bryant, and Troy Brown, and it's like which way, and Will Barton, and it's like those 5 guys for 3 spots, and it's like which way do you want to go?
Fading Ben for Embiid and cash. Again, it's a toss-up. I'm going to lean just a little bit more on Simmons just because of the minutes. I don't know what's going on with Embiid with his minutes, but Embiid is obviously in a smash spot. He's a beast. I'm not going to hate on that. He's in a good matchup now, so it does help him. Yeah, I don't know. So it's a toss-up. It's sad. I don't want to talk about it because whatever I say is probably going to end up being wrong.
I mean, it is his second game back.
Yeah, let's all win tonight, guys. Appreciate the shout-outs. Let's go ahead and get off, TJ. It's 6:30. Do you have any closing words?
Jason Martinez. I like Trae Young as a GPP play for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
My closing remarks for tonight's stream would be that I can't say the word similarity. Can't say it. I refuse to say it again. That word is now banned from our stream. You are no longer allowed to type it in the chat.
I can actually ban words.
Unless it has an STD, no upper respiratory sickness. So I like that. I wish it was the first opposed to the second, but what are you gonna do? Good for you, Ben Simmons. Yeah. So I think you're gonna need 2 of those 3 Sixers tonight in cash. I'm locking in Tobias Harris. I think it's a toss-up between Simmons and Embiid. I think it's your preference. I think you need Marquise Chris tonight in cash. I definitely don't hate Kemba Walker at 7,900 in a good spot against Golden State. I know I said it's a little bit of a pace-down spot for Golden State because Boston's at home. I hope that Golden State gets out and tries to run with the Celtics because I'd rather see more of an up-pace game. But regardless, Golden State does not defend well against guards, so that makes me like Kemba Walker. Kevin Huerter, a good last piece in cash. I think Joe Ingles is a good last piece in cash. We definitely like Will Barton now with the Gary Harris news. Troy Brown at 5,600 is definitely intriguing. Good matchup against Charlotte. So that, like I said, those are the guys, and of course Bradley Beal's a good play at 9,400. I like that's a prime matchup for him. I don't think I'm going to get to him unfortunately because I'd rather go with some of those Sixers and Kemba. But if you land on Beal, like God bless you, I really like him tonight as well. So I think that's kind of where I'm in for my pool for cash. But yeah, you're gonna have to make stands tonight. If you can get Embiid and Simmons and Tobias Harris, like that's awesome. But I think you're only gonna be able to get two of them. So making that stand between Ben Simmons and Embiid is gonna be tough. So
Similar to TJ.
no, I could say similar. I understand similar.
Okay,
but
you
when
just don't get the similarly.
Similarly. Like
All right, no, it's banned. It's banned. You can't say it anymore. All right, guys.
Last time anybody can say it.
I want to say one last thing. Again, we do like columns for GPP. Troy Brown, always a good GPP play at this point. I do like Barton, Tobias Harris, Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young for GPPs. I'll go ahead and end it like that, guys. Thanks for all the support. Again, guys, we will see you in the morning. I'll be posting my early morning video and then again throughout the day on TikTok now. My favorite updated plays throughout the day. So will TJ from his car. More car streams for him. And with all that being said, guys, have a great Thursday and let's cash.
Night, guys.